What does it mean when meteorologists compare a winter weather pattern to 1978 to 1979? Let's begin with the winter storm warnings that are lighting up weather maps like a Christmas tree tonight. Christmas week, December 22nd through 29th, will bring even colder conditions. The Arctic air mass will expand its reach, affecting areas further south. Cold air will extend into the Red River Valley and parts of the Mid-South region. New Year's Eve and New Year's Day will feature an Arctic outbreak moving eastward. Much of the eastern United States, potentially down to northern Florida, will experience well below normal temperatures. The second week of January may bring some moderation but will remain significantly cold. This extended cold pattern represents unprecedented duration for such extreme conditions. The step-down process for cold air creates a corresponding step-down process for snowfall patterns. Snow lines will continue shifting south week by week through the second half of December. This southward progression will extend into the first half of January 2026. As of this evening, winter storm warnings remain in effect across portions of Virginia and West Virginia. The first week of January shows substantial mountain snow continuing across western regions. Lake effect snow will persist across the Great Lakes region. Northern areas, including the upper Midwest and New England, will receive considerable snowfall. By mid-January, the snow line will shift several hundred miles further south. This shift will bring major snowstorms into the heartland of the country. The Corn Belt region will experience significantly increased winter weather activity. A potentially major snow event may develop sometime during January. This system could track up the eastern seaboard and intensify over Ontario and Quebec. Such development could produce very heavy snowfall during mid-January. Cities including Chicago, Des Moines, Detroit, and Green Bay face increased storm potential. These pink-colored warnings indicate that travel is difficult in the higher elevations of the Appalachian Mountains. Northeast locations like Buffalo, Portland, Maine, and Concord, New Hampshire could experience major snowstorms. The Pacific Northwest will continue receiving mountain snow, particularly in the Cascades and Northern Rockies. Great Lakes and New England regions will experience periodic heavy snow events. The Midwest and Ohio Valley will receive their share of significant snowfall. Economic implications of this extended winter pattern affect multiple sectors. Transportation systems will face ongoing challenges from repeated snow and ice events. Supply chain disruptions become increasingly likely with each successive storm. Energy consumption will remain elevated throughout the extended cold period. Natural gas and heating oil demand will significantly exceed normal seasonal levels. Agricultural operations require extended protection measures for livestock and infrastructure. Purple areas show winter weather advisories where travel could be hazardous at times. Feed costs typically increase during prolonged cold periods as animals require additional calories. Healthcare systems prepare for increased demand related to weather-related injuries and illnesses. Snow removal injuries and heart attacks from overexertion increase during major snow events. Emergency services face additional challenges responding to calls during extreme weather. Insurance companies anticipate increased claims for weather-related property damage. Roof damage from snow loads and pipe damage from freezing represent common winter claims. Vehicle accidents typically surge during and immediately following snow events. Educational institutions must develop contingency plans for multiple potential closure days. Remote learning capabilities become essential when traditional snow days accumulate quickly. Community preparedness becomes critical during extended winter weather patterns. Snow showers will continue through approximately 10 to 11 p.m. this evening. Neighbor-to-neighbor assistance programs help vulnerable populations during extreme cold. Checking on elderly neighbors and those with medical conditions becomes a community responsibility. Emergency shelters may need to operate at capacity during the coldest periods. Municipal governments are preparing snow removal budgets for extended operations. Salt and sand supplies must be monitored carefully to last through the entire season. Don't miss the next segment where I'll detail specific preparation strategies. These strategies can help families and businesses weather this historic winter season safely. Home preparation should begin immediately rather than waiting for specific storm warnings. Heating system inspections ensure reliable operation during peak demand periods. Furnace filters should be replaced and heating ducts should be inspected for efficiency. After midnight, most precipitation will begin shutting off across Virginia and the eastern seaboard. Emergency heating sources require proper ventilation and carbon monoxide detectors. Water pipe insulation prevents costly freeze damage during extended cold spells. Allowing faucets to drip slightly helps prevent pipe freezing in unheated areas. Emergency supply kits should include food, water, medications, and communication devices. Battery-powered radios provide weather updates when power outages occur. Flashlights and extra batteries become essential during extended power outages. Vehicle winterization includes tire inspection, battery testing, and antifreeze checks. Emergency car kits should contain blankets, food, water, and snow removal tools. Fuel tanks should be kept full to prevent fuel line freezing. Snow removal equipment should be serviced and fuel supplies should be replenished. An additional 1 to 2 inches of snow remains possible for southeastern Virginia and northeastern North Carolina. Ice melt supplies help maintain safe walkways and driveways throughout the season. Business continuity planning becomes essential for organizations in affected areas. Remote work capabilities help maintain operations during severe weather events. Supply chain alternatives should be identified before disruptions occur. Employee safety protocols must address extreme cold and hazardous travel conditions. Communication systems should include multiple backup methods for reaching employees. The climate context of this winter pattern provides important perspective. Extreme winter weather events of this magnitude occur roughly every few decades. The 1978 to 1979 analog remains the closest historical comparison for current conditions. That winter created lasting changes in how communities prepare for extreme weather. The Appalachians of West Virginia and the Smoky Mountains of Northeast Tennessee could see another inch of accumulation. Emergency management practices improved significantly following that historic winter. Current forecasting technology provides much better advance warning than was available in 1978 to 1979. However, the physical challenges of extreme cold and heavy snow remain unchanged. Modern infrastructure generally handles winter weather better than systems from the 1970s. Nevertheless, extreme events can overwhelm even well-prepared systems. The extended duration of this pattern presents unique challenges for resource management. Sustained extreme conditions require different strategies than single weather events. Mental health considerations become important during extended winter weather patterns. Social isolation may increase when travel becomes consistently difficult. Seasonal affective patterns may intensify during prolonged periods of extreme weather. These totals will be reached between now and midnight Tuesday morning. Community support networks play vital roles in maintaining morale and safety. Regular contact with family and friends helps identify those who may need assistance. Professional counseling resources should be available for those struggling with winter-related stress. To summarize the key points for this historic winter weather pattern, the 1978 to 79 analog suggests we are entering a winter season unlike anything in recent decades. Extreme cold will begin this weekend and continue through mid-January. Snow patterns will shift progressively southward, affecting areas typically spared from heavy winter weather. Preparation should begin immediately rather than waiting for specific weather warnings. Community cooperation and neighbor assistance will be essential throughout this extended period. Next week, we will provide updated storm tracking and cold air progression analysis. However, this current snowfall represents only the beginning of what forecasters expect over the coming weeks. We will also examine how current conditions compare to historical patterns and what this means for February and March. Stay informed, stay prepared, and remember that advanced planning prevents winter weather emergencies. This winter season will test our resilience, but proper preparation helps ensure safety and comfort throughout these challenging months. That winter remains legendary among weather professionals for its unprecedented combination of extreme cold and historic snowfall. Weather alerts across the United States reveal the scope of what is developing. Green areas in the Pacific Northwest indicate flood watches where very heavy and significant floating rains are expected. Tan-colored areas, the upper Midwest displays a combination of purples, blues, and pinks, indicating winter weather alerts. Blue areas represent winter storm watches extending from South Dakota through southern Minnesota into Iowa. Purple indicates winter weather advisories, while pink shows winter storm warnings. This extensive alert coverage reflects the significant activity developing across the northern United States. A clipper system is currently moving through this evening into overnight hours from Minnesota toward Wisconsin. This system will deliver 1 to 2 inches of quick, fluffy, dry snowfall across the Twin Cities area. The Green Bay area will experience similar accumulations as the system moves through overnight. Right now, on December 9th, 2025, we're entering a winter weather pattern unlike anything we have seen in decades. By Tuesday morning's commute, snow will be moving into areas like Traverse City and Grand Rapids, Michigan. The Fort Wayne area may also experience snow showers during the Tuesday morning hours. While not a major snowstorm, this system will make roadways slick for those heading to work or school Tuesday. A more notable and potent clipper system approaches Tuesday morning. This system originates from Montana and will track through the Dakotas into Minnesota and Wisconsin. The storm will then continue eastward across the Great Lakes region. This represents the main event that will impact the upper Midwest Wednesday and Thursday. South Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa face the potential for 6 to 12 inches of snowfall. Cities like Minneapolis, Madison, Milwaukee, and Chicago will experience significant winter weather impacts. The storm timeline shows activity beginning Tuesday morning and intensifying through Wednesday. The atmospheric setup developing across North America mirrors conditions that produced one of the most challenging winters on record. Peak snow intensity will occur Wednesday across the primary impact zone. This winter storm will create substantial travel difficulties throughout the affected regions. Simultaneously, the Pacific Northwest faces an entirely different but equally significant weather challenge. An atmospheric river event will bring very heavy rainfall to this region. Flooding concerns are prompting flood watches across extensive areas of Oregon and Washington. High wind warnings accompany the heavy rainfall, creating multiple hazardous conditions. These conditions represent some of the most significant weather impacts the Pacific Northwest has faced this season. Since Thanksgiving, winter weather has been particularly active across much of the northern United States. Major snowstorms have crossed through the Midwest, parts of the Great Lakes, and New England over the past 2 weeks. Mountain regions along the continental divide of the Rockies have received substantial snow accumulations. Over the next 2 weeks, we will witness a series of weather events that will test our preparedness and resilience. Areas further south have not experienced significant snowfall, but that pattern is about to change. The atmospheric configuration developing mirrors historical patterns known for extreme winter weather. Weather professionals use historical analogs to understand potential outcomes of similar atmospheric setups. The winter of 1978 to 1979 serves as the primary analog for current conditions. That winter featured sustained extreme cold and multiple major snowstorms across large portions of North America. Transportation systems, energy infrastructure, and daily life faced unprecedented challenges during that winter. Current atmospheric patterns suggest similar conditions may develop over the coming weeks. The jet stream configuration shows characteristics identical to those observed during historic winter events. Cross-polar flow patterns are establishing conditions for sustained cold air delivery from northern Canada. Deep snowpack already established across southern Canada and the northern United States will enhance cooling effects. Current snowfall across Virginia and North Carolina represents just the opening chapter of this extended winter story. These factors combine to create what meteorologists term a positive feedback loop for extreme winter weather. Don't miss the next segment where I'll explain exactly how this cold air will spread southward. The progression follows a predictable pattern that will affect millions of Americans. Multiple clipper systems will continue tracking across the northern states over the next week. Each system will bring additional snowfall while also transporting progressively colder air masses southward. The cumulative effect of these systems creates what forecasters call a step-down process for temperatures. Each successive storm brings the cold air boundary further south across the continental United States. Now here's the critical safety information I promised at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Extreme cold will arrive in the upper Midwest following the weekend's storm systems. What weather professionals describe as the dam will break refers to a massive Arctic air mass release. At the 5-minute mark, I will reveal the specific timeline showing when extreme cold will reach your area. Sub-zero wind chills will work their way into the United States, beginning in the upper Midwest. Wind chill values of 20 to 40 degrees below zero will establish residents across extensive areas. The upper Midwest and much of southern Canada will experience these extreme conditions. Sunday morning represents the worst of the extreme cold event. Cities including Chicago, Madison, Milwaukee, Minneapolis, St. Paul, and Duluth will face severe wind chills. Des Moines, Iowa will also experience wind chills of 30 to 40 degrees below zero Sunday morning. These conditions present serious health risk for anyone venturing outdoors. Wind chills of this magnitude can cause frostbite in less than 10 minutes of exposure. Anyone who must go outdoors should dress in layers and cover all exposed skin. Outdoor activities should be limited to essential tasks only during peak cold periods. The most critical safety information comes at 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Vehicle preparation becomes critical when temperatures reach these extreme levels. Battery performance decreases significantly in extreme cold, potentially preventing vehicle starts. Fuel systems may also experience difficulties if vehicles are not properly winterized. Home heating systems will face unprecedented demand during the extreme cold period. Energy consumption across affected regions will surge well above normal winter levels. Utility companies are preparing for peak demand scenarios and potential system stress. Backup heating plans should be reviewed and implemented where necessary for safety. Alternative heating sources must include proper ventilation to prevent carbon monoxide exposure. Livestock and domestic animals require special protection during extreme cold events. Adequate shelter and windbreak protection become essential for animal welfare. I will detail wind chill values that can cause frostbite in less than 10 minutes. Water supplies for animals must be monitored to prevent freezing. The extreme cold represents only the beginning of an extended winter weather pattern. Long-range forecasting models indicate cold air will remain in abundant supply through January. Cross-polar flow patterns will continue delivering Arctic air masses from northern Canada. The tropospheric polar vortex will assist in maintaining the quick, cold air source. Deep snowpack coverage will continue reinforcing cooling effects across the region. These atmospheric conditions create a self-sustaining pattern for continued extreme winter weather. And now, as promised at the 5-minute mark, here is the detailed timeline for extreme cold progression. Week 3 of December, spanning December 15th through 22nd, will be very cold across the northern tier. Southern Canada and the northern United States will experience temperatures well below normal.